All right, this is Metalhead's Perspective. We're going back to Unseen World. There's a few tracks I didn't finish up back when I was doing the Unseen World reactions. God, it's been, what, 2 years now? So we're going to check out a couple of tracks from them that I didn't get reactions up for. We got HGK, YYY, and True Longing. All right, so let's get it. I'm a little bit more familiar, I think, out of these tracks is YYY. True Longing, man, I can't even remember listening to that. Yeah, that might be a first time listen for me, but I can't remember. We'll get into it here. Anyways, let's go. God, let me do this before I forget here. I do that every time. I adjust it in one reaction and then I forget to adjust it in the rest. I don't care what anybody says. HGK is a very, very, very underrated song. Actually, the whole Unseen World album, I know is it's a very progressive album. It's a lot of older Bandmade fans, wanted them to stick to the same conquer or like world domination formula. But as a musician, especially a thinker like Konami, there's just no possible way I think for her to just to stick with the same formula. And they got what 130 plus songs now. I think that over that, for them not to experiment or to branch out is just asinine. And that way of thinking is just totally wrong in my opinion. It's a very old way of thinking. It's a very classical music way of thinking. There's nothing wrong with that, but I just think for somebody as prominent and they have a lot to learn. That you can tell their skill level throughout the years is only getting better, and that only helps in the music that we do love. That they from them. So when Unseen World came out, it got a lot of flack for doing something different, for Konami trying things differently and being a progressive album and stuff like that. And a lot of the songs were kind of growers anyways, even for the guys that love that progressive sound, and musicians that love those changes and stuff like that. It took a few people, quite a few listens to kind of get the feel for certain tracks because she implemented so much into this music. And I think you kind of seen a combination of Unseen World and like a Conqueror style song when they put out the Unleash EP. A lot of it was pretty progressive, but they only implemented it in certain parts of their songs, and then kind of harp back on that call and response or that very audience driven chant style rock and roll. So we got both best of both worlds, in the latest music from them, and they wouldn't have been able to do that if they didn't try new things like what they did in Unseen World. So I'm all for it. There's nothing wrong with, like I said, liking their older stuff more. It's great music. It's awesome music. But for a lot of us, this is also our favorite music from them. I think Unleash and Unseen World are masterpiece albums. That being said, Corleum off of Unleash, is my favorite song. I think it just stays at number one. I'll is, crosses that threshold every time I listen to it. But for me, Corleum is just it's a constant for me, and I don't think those songs would have came about if Konami wasn't such a progressive thinker in music, and wanting to branch out and learn and try new things. I'm grateful for that. I think everybody should be, because it's just going to only help their musicality and their texture and how good they are as musicians later on and in later music and live. All this new stuff is only going to help. Anyways, I digress. I kind of spoke a little bit too long there. I'll throw a timestamp of when this actual reaction starts, but I just wanted to throw that out there. Another, I got a lot to say, so I'm going to use my platform as a way to say that. I see a lot of comparison videos, or a lot of videos people want to put out. Is Konami a good guitar player? Or who's the best Japanese female guitarist? Or who can Konami do this? Or I just, the fandoms, the hardcores of this music, they don't give a lot of leeway to a lot of other musicians out there. It's like all for Konami or nothing. Or it's all for The Warning or nothing. Or it's all for Midori or Miyako or nothing. And there's no room for discussion. There's no room for debate. Facts get thrown completely out the window. It's fine to have your favorite. It's fine to have your opinions. But to completely disintegrate somebody else's thought process with hateful comments or disrespect, it turns me off from doing these things, from making videos and watching artists that you guys want me to watch. I don't do a lot of love bites, because one of the worst interactions I ever had was from one of their fans, just hateful comments, emails, reporting every one of my videos, leaving comments, making fake accounts, and just being an absolutely just a dirtbag. And it's others too, not quite to that extent, but it's others, that it's like you can't say anything negative, even if it's lighthearted. You can't say one is my favorite, or I prefer this, when it's going against Midori or Miyako, without getting somebody just being an absolute shithead in the comments section. That doesn't go for the majority of the fans. I understand that, but when I'm also a very open thinker, and a very I can understand other people's point of views, and they don't even want to hear me out, or they want to disrespect other people in my channel and stuff. I don't even want to put them through that, I haven't done any The Warning reactions, just because it's not going to be my favorite music. From what I have heard from them, it gives me too much of this music that's already out here in the United States. A song like Choke, it repeats itself over and over again, and I can't believe some people think that's the greatest song on earth. Those girls aren't the best at their instruments, and some people put them on such a godly pedestal that there's no room for discussion, or there's no room for a reaction video saying, well, this isn't my favorite, because you'll just get absolutely flamed and downvoted and to the point where I've seen other reactors do their music and it hasn't been their favorite and they've had to take down their reaction channel, or not their reaction channel, their reaction video, or they don't go back to that music, and it's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate part of doing this kind of thing, and you guys, a lot of you don't see but I guarantee you talk to any other reactor, Alan, Wave, Ryan, Champ, there's others, Mr. Rock and Roll and stuff like that. I guarantee you they really stay within a lane when it comes to reacting to this music, because as musicians, or as somebody that knows a little bit about music in general, to not be able to harp or say anything negative, it's probably a reason why, I wonder why that person hasn't done a lot of this artist, or how come they haven't reacted to this and stuff like that. It's probably because they've had a bad experience. Anyways, this is going to be like I'm already 11 minutes in. This is going to be like a 30-minute video at this point, so I'll make sure to get timestamps of when I actually react to the songs in here. I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about my thought process. I even put out a little shorts video about how I feel about Konami as a guitar player. I've had some recent bad experiences of people just absolutely shitting on Konami in the comments section because they prefer Midori, or they prefer the artist from The Warning, or this, that, or the other thing, and there's no other room for discussion. It's like, how can you discredit somebody who is doing the exact same thing as some of these other artists, if not better? I get it. It's all subjective, but there's also facts involved too, and when you completely disregard other people's taste in music by hate speech and by hurtful comments and stuff like that, it really deters the user, even the listener. Anyways, I digress. I just wanted to get that off my chest. Another thing, I've kind of ventured off into, Korean music. My channel's kind of taken a little detour here. There's a lot I have found that I love about that music. Some of it, right, is on the poppy side and stuff like that, and it's not my favorite and stuff, but I respect it, and I'm not going to go out of my way to say anything bad about it. But I'll give my little critiques here and there, and I'll say, hey, that maybe this wasn't my style and stuff like that. But there's been a lot of people that have been offended, absolutely offended. If I edited my videos, and used Adobe Premiere and stuff like that, I'd copy and paste people's comments they put in my videos towards me, or towards other members, or towards other commenters, saying just the nastiest things on the screen here. Because I'm listening to Korean music and I'm not listening to Japanese music, and that makes me racist all of a sudden, or vice versa. It's just some of the things a lot of reactors don't talk about, but I guarantee they also deal with. Just so keep that in mind. Keep it cordial. Keep it nice in the comments section. Respect other people's opinions. If you don't disagree with them, hey, just say, hey, I prefer this artist more. Sorry, but you don't have to go, hey, you're a dirtbag, you're absolutely wrong, you're a shit person for saying, Miyako isn't as good as Konami, or vice versa, or whatever the case may be. That's just some fandom, whatever they call themselves, Wolfpack, maniac arguments I see. Hey, all this stuff just helps music. Why are you so against somebody else liking something else? It's wild to me. Yeah, so if you see that kind of thing, you guys, the best thing you can do is just report it, move on, don't give it any attention. If you do, just say, hey, piss off, leave this guy alone, or, you don't have to give hate back, but just shun him away, and let the channel owner know what's going on, or throw a bunch of comments. They'll see it eventually. They're like, hey, why have I 3 or 4 or 5 comments under this? All of a sudden they'll look at it and see it, and hopefully they remove that person. I do. You'd be surprised how many comments that I delete because somebody's just being stupid. Anyways, let's get into it. This is HGK by Bandmade. Sorry for the rant. Let's get into it. Actually, you guys, I'm sorry. That kind of just threw my mood a little bit. I'm going to react to these separately. So I'm just going to do HGK at the end of this video. We're getting already into 16 minutes here. And we'll do the other 2 in separate videos. I don't want this to be a jumbled up mess, and I've had a lot of thoughts lately on this topic. So let's just move on. Let's get this video done and over with. Hope you guys enjoy it. Konami, Akane, Miku, Psyche, Misa, they sound incredible. I have said it a million times in every one of my, I don't know, I think I'm at like 70 Bandmade reactions or something now. Oh, you can only say so much without sounding pretty redundant, but I love them. Got my tickets for Spokane. I hope to see you guys there. Let's support them big. Let's keep them coming back to the United States. I know those Europeans, are bummed as heck, but it's pretty expensive, and I know there's a lot of problems with trying to tour in Europe right now. A lot of bands have canceled shows. A lot of bands haven't put any shows out for Europe right now. It's unfortunate. They'll get there eventually. There's no way. I know that last time they went, it looked like they enjoyed themselves. So just stay patient. So weird. Konami is so weird. Her compositions are out of this world. They're just so different. She could have like in that just that little. I guess that was like kind of like the. I don't know, is that the chorus? I don't even know sometimes. Within that section, she had a couple different guitar parts. In like she has like 4-bar parts that just change up and then change up. That could be entire songs. She could write entire songs just off of those 4-bar parts. She's just constantly changing up. And I think another thing about Unseed World, I think Psyche doesn't get enough credit for her vocals. It is so fast. Some of the lines extend 20-30 seconds, and she's got to do these quick breaths. Vocally, it's a very intense album. Look how strange that is, the guitar part. What is she doing? And we got Misa just thumping the heck out of her bass when she comes in, and always just icing on the cake for me. I think she's my favorite musician. She doesn't... what am I trying to say? She doesn't... she's not in the forefront a lot, like at Konami is and stuff like that. But when she is, it's so tasteful. It is so fun for me to listen to her. It's so rare in music to have a bassist that does what she does within each song, how involved she is, how dynamic she is, how in the pocket she can be, how out there in front she can be. She can do it all. This girl can do anything she wants on the bass. And it's so unique within modern music to hear a good bassist out in the forefront, and as sonically as she is, and the play style and the tone she's got, it's one of the best in the industries, if not the best, in my opinion. Just listen to it. It's so funky. Now Con Every in the thunder, like always. Before we lead into this little part here, what a one in a million is not the way to put it, because there is no other band like Band-Maid. It's like one in a millennium band. The way it is, it just blows my mind that I think even in their beginning iterations they didn't know what they had in each of the members, how they came together. It's I think about it often, like, how lucky did they get? How Miku's mind was able to see these girls and be like, this is what I want, is just miraculous and incredible to me. And the fact that they struggled in the beginning, before their song went viral, before Thrill went viral, it's just the events that took place to get them here. It's just like makes me appreciate this band even more. A lot of these reactors, they'll harp on a couple of their 3 or 4 of their top songs and then they'll never react to them again. And it's just like, I know you did it because the commenters wanted you to do it, but man, if you only knew what this band went through and what they are capable of, and all their other 125, 130 other songs that you're missing out on, you are just doing yourself a disservice, and it's a bummer. I get it. Numbers speak for a lot of these reactors. If they're not getting numbers, they're not going to care how much you love them, how good they are in that area of music. It's just they're going to move on. It's unfortunate because what a time to be alive when you have this band out. I just, God, win me the lottery and I would dump a bunch of money to these girls to make sure they're always successful in life. I think about that often. It's just like, God, I want to support them through the moon. Why can't I go to every one of their concerts? Why can't I buy all their merch? And it's just because they're so good at what they do, and they're just good people. I think that's what it comes down to. Even if you don't really care for the music, the human beings behind each one of those instruments in Band-Maid, they don't have controversies, and they're not doing crazy rock and roll things, and they're just good, genuine people, and their visuals are cool, their music is cool, their story's cool, their music is cool, their fans are cool, their concerts are... I still, to this day, I feel like I have ringing in the back of my ears when I think about it from a Band-Maid concert, just because of how wild and heavy and loud and ferocious and miraculous that band was, and I cannot wait to see them again. For you guys that have seen them 5-6 times, you are the luckiest people on earth. Anyways, it looks like we're going into a little Konami part here, so let's catch it without interruptions and me rambling on. What a cool the guitar part sounded pretty straightforward rock and roll, which you would hear like an older rock and roll, and then towards the end of her solo there, she goes into like a little bit more dissident chord there that kind of almost sounds a little off-putting to the ear if you're listening really closely, and it's just a subtle little change in her towards the end of her guitar part there that kind of makes you tilt your ear a little bit. Anyways, it's that kind of thing we get from Konami that makes me feel like she's, one of the best guitar players and best musicians on earth, It's just that she's in a Japanese band. She doesn't speak predominant English. She's not this band would be huge as an American band. But we don't need that from them, and I'm grateful they're not in a lot of ways, because the industry would change them. The industry would change their music completely, make it radio friendly, and we don't want that. Trust me, where they're at now, this is where we want them. But listen to that, and then into Psyche's vocals. This is one of my favorite vocal parts of all time from the Maids, or from Psyche. See, that part right there kind of changes a little bit. She sounds so good right here. Cool little build here. What a headbanger. Akane is so satisfying. I'm gonna just take it back here. Listen to Akane's change-ups just within these last, what do we got? Yeah, these last 25, 30 seconds. What is that drum beat right there? So unorthodox. Sick. Very underrated song. I bet I said this about Unleash, and I'm going to say this about Unseen World. Every single one of their songs could have come out with the music video, and it would have satisfied their fans. There was not a weak link to me in these albums. They're just so significantly different from song to song that it's so tasteful to the ear that we could have got a music video from each one of their tracks, and it would have been okay with every one of us. I think they deserve more recognition. Some of these tracks, don't have a lot of views on YouTube, don't have a lot of listens on Spotify, and it's unfortunate because it's some of the best work they do. I know that little Psyche part that I said is one of my favorite parts in all of their music. I know it's kind of controversial because they use in studio they use some kind of effect on the end of her last note she used and stuff like that. And a lot of people don't like that in music, but I think it's really cool. They don't do it very often, and when they do it, they always do it in little spots, and it's always never outdone or never too much, and it's always really cool. It kind of goes with the music. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this reaction. Leave your thoughts and comments down below. I kind of ranted there at the beginning of this video. If you have any context or thing to add to that, go ahead and let me know your thoughts. Stay respectful, stay kind. Don't let the haters get to you, even though they bothered me here a little lately to prompt me to make some videos. But I've got a lot of it here lately, and a lot of people don't talk about the shitty parts of doing this. A lot of reactors keep quiet and just move on. But I just want to every once in a while say something or bring it to light and say, it's not always fucking daisies over here. A lot of things get stupid, and when it comes to our favorite music, to see these dirtbags in the comments section ruin it for other people, it's unfortunate, because we just want these bands to be good and grow and get better, and that doesn't help. So if you see it, report it. Don't let them get away with it. Anyways, that's all I got. I hope you enjoyed this. HGK. We'll do YYY in the other one at a later date. Have a good one and stay metal.